Hey everybody, welcome to the kitchen today, and mamma mia, we're cooking spaghetti. So stick with me and I'll show you how we get this thing started. All right guys, here's what we got going on here. I have in this pot 3 pounds of ground beef, 80-20, 80% lean, 20% fat. And we've got this already cooked down, well done, and I've got it chopped up the consistency that I like. You know, there's a lot of ways to make spaghetti. Some people like it with meat, some don't, but I do, and that's what we're doing today, making this spaghetti sauce with ground beef. And so I'm going to take this over to the sink in just a moment, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do to get the fat off. All right, we've got our meat cooked, and I'm going to show you how to drain it. I'm going over here to the sink. And don't think I'm going to pour this fat off the meat in the sink. I'm not going to do that. That only makes the plumbers happy and kind of messes up your septic system and your city sewer system. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I drain it off a real quick and easy way. All right, guys, I'm going to put a bowl right down in the bottom of the sink, just like this. And then I'm taking this colander, put right there. And this is the way I do about all the meats that I drain. You can see there's our meat. You can see the fat pooling up down there in the bottom. And you can spoon it out if you like, but this seems to work out better for me. So I'm just going to pour this in this colander. And again, there's a bowl under there catching all this fat. All right. Got all that out of there. And we just kind of hold this up like this, and you can see all that draining out. I do not wash the meat off. I leave it just the way it is, but I let that all drip out. And when it gets done dripping, we're going to take that bowl out, set it on the counter, and when it congeals, then we'll just throw that grease away in the trash. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. But you can see how much is in there. I don't know if you can see down in the bottom of the sink. I'll lift it up. That's a lot coming off of there already. And so we're going to get all that off there. All right, we'll be right back. I'll show you how we put the dish together. All right, guys, that's what we drained off our 3 pounds of ground beef. I don't know how much that is. That may be a half a pound right there of fat that we don't need in our spaghetti sauce. So we'll set this on the counter, like I said earlier, and let it congeal, and then we'll do away with it. All right, guys, we're back, and so we're going to start putting our spaghetti sauce together. Again, there's many ways to make spaghetti sauce. Some people like a sweet sauce. Some people like a real thick sauce. Some people like thin. Some folks use red wine. Some people like mushrooms. Some don't. But I'm going to make it the way that we like it in my house, and I hope you'll try this recipe. I think you'll like it. First of all, we've got our meat back on the stove, and we have it on a medium heat. I'm putting in 2 cups of diced onions. Already diced those up. And I have here about 1.5 cups of bell pepper, but I'm not going to use all that. I'm going to use about maybe half that because some in my family don't care for the bell pepper. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but when I cooked the meat, I did not season it in any way. There's been no seasoning added, but we're going to start doing that in just a moment. So I'm going to take my wooden spoon here, and we're going to kind of just mix this up. And this is going to be a real large pot of spaghetti. And so we'll probably freeze part of this and have it later. Or I may decide to make some lasagna a little bit later on, and we'll use this same sauce for that. Okay, so we're going to let that cook down just a little bit. And that is going to be a lot of spaghetti. And again, if you don't like bell pepper in yours, don't put it in. And if you like more bell pepper, well, you can add more. Okay, to that, I'm going to add I think this is 29 ounces of tomato sauce. And I try to use a really good brand of sauce because the economy brands are a little bit too weak. And I will probably have to add some more, but I'm going to add my tomatoes next. And these are 3 small cans of diced tomatoes. And these are the unseasoned kind. You can get those with the Italian seasoning in them, but I don't use those. I use just these petite diced tomatoes. And then we'll stir that up. You see, this is really, really thick, so we're going to have to thin it down some in a little bit. We're going to let this cook. Incidentally, we're going to let this spaghetti sauce cook probably 2 hours on low to really get all the flavors incorporated that we're going to put in here in just a minute. Okay, got that together. Now it's time for our seasonings. I like a little black pepper to start with. Something about like that. Again, you can use your own judgment. I also like just a little bit of red pepper flakes. Again, that's my own thing that I do with my spaghetti sauce. And here we go with our Italian seasoning. You want to just do something about like that. The thing about this seasonings will be, you'll have to adjust them depending on the type of, or the poundage of meat that you have. Since this is so large, I'm putting in a little more. This is oregano. Put in a little of that. And then some garlic. Not garlic salt, but just garlic. So we have our three main seasonings: garlic, Italian seasoning, and oregano. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of parsley. I don't have any fresh parsley today, so I'm going to use this, well, there we go. I'm going to use this little mill and put some dried parsley in. It's already smelling pretty good. All right. I'm going to stir that up. And again, you see it's very thick, and so we're going to add the rest of our tomato sauce over here. Again, I'm using tomato sauce, not tomato paste or tomato juice. So let me open this up and see how this does. I'm not adding any water to this because we want it to be kind of thick. And we may have to add even more tomato sauce, but I have it. We do. So we'll pour that in. All right. Oh, yeah. Now what we're going to do with this, we're going to put a lid on this. We're going to let this simmer for a while. Then we're going to come back and taste. And then if we have to add any more seasoning, which I think we may have to, we can do that then. Again, when you're making different size batches of this, you just have to kind of adjust it to what you and your family likes or whoever you're cooking for. All right, we're going to let that simmer for just a minute, or actually a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back and give it a taste. All right, guys, it's been about 20 minutes. We just kind of let this come to a boil, and it's not nearly done. This is going to need to cook for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours to really get those veggies, the onions and the bell peppers, really tender like they need to be. But at this point, we want to taste our seasonings to make sure that we have got everything right. And if you were observant, you'll notice that in the earlier part of the video today, I did not add any salt. Well, that's a mistake. I didn't add any salt. So since then, I've tasted it. I have added some salt. I'm going to taste it again to make sure we got everything right. I think we're right on target. So I've added nothing else other than the salt that I omitted at the beginning. But now I am going to put in some mushrooms. These are fresh mushrooms. If you like mushrooms, put them in by all means. Or you can use canned if you like. But if you don't like mushrooms, we'll leave them out. Well, I'm going to put a few in. Not like that. And I'm going to mix those up in there. And then we're going to turn this down on a simmer. And we're going to simmer this for a couple of hours. And then we'll get our pasta going. And then we'll have some spaghetti. We're going to do that jump right there. Boy, doesn't that look great? Smells great too. Okay, and again, I'm only going to make about 1 serving of this just for me, but the rest of it we're going to put in the fridge. I'll probably make some lasagna out of it, or either I'll just freeze it and have spaghetti again another time. Great dish for a big group, great dish for families and for toddlers and old people alike. Spaghetti's for everybody. All right, we'll be back in just a little bit. All right, guys, we're back, and if you look here in this plate, I've made some beautiful pasta. I don't know if you can see that or not. I think you can. Beautiful pasta, and we'll check our spaghetti sauce here. It's been cooking about 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it smells delicious. Stir it around here a little bit. Mushrooms look great. And remember, as I told you a little bit earlier, always taste your food, especially when you have multiple ingredients like this, to make sure that your seasoning is right. If I hadn't done that, I would have not added that salt that I forgot at the beginning. So anyway, we've got it all looking good here. I've got this, let me turn this off. And I'm going to plate some up. Oh, this looks great. And incidentally, I don't break my pasta. It's all together. I don't like mine broken, except when I have my grandkids around, and they like theirs broken up. But anyway, here's the finished product right there. I hope you can see that. And there you have it. Ron's spaghetti. Hope you enjoy. Hope you'll try this recipe. Until we see each other again, God bless you, and I love you.